auditor says her office has identified ways the taxpayer money was wasted on the shelter system.
The WBZ-I team showed us some of the problems months ago, including contract mismanagement, lack of oversight, and excessive costs. And tonight, WBZ's John Keller shows us where the state allegedly made mistakes and how the Healey administration is fighting back.
The migrant deluge that overwhelmed the state emergency shelter system is mostly over for now. But the fallout from the way it was handled continues in a scathing 74-page report from State Auditor Diana DiZoglio.
People are concerned about the lack of fairness when it comes to the execution of millions of taxpayer dollars.
The audit hits the state agency in charge for mismanagement and failing to assess the surging numbers, as well as bungling oversight of spending on food, transportation, and housing costs while handing out no-bid contracts. Some examples highlighted in the audit. The state overpaid a food delivery vendor by almost 10%. And the audit says a cab company hired to take migrants to critical appointments billed the state at inflated rates. In Boston, a 1-mile cab ride costs around $5. But this company charged the state almost $147.
The administration was unable to provide evidence that they had gone through really a process of any kind.
In response, the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities said, quote, the Healey-Driscoll administration inherited an unprecedented surge in families due to failed immigration policies and a flawed shelter system not equipped to handle it. Since that time, we've made major changes to make the system safer and protect taxpayers. Now, the number of families in shelter and the cost to taxpayers is going down. More than 85% of families seeking shelter are now longtime Massachusetts residents, and we just announced that we will be out of hotels this summer, months ahead of schedule. But while Healey and her defenders say the size of the migrant influx came as a surprise to everyone, DiZoglio says they should have known by early 2023 that tighter controls were needed.
UHLC then waited January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and then only in August decided to consider these options for food and transportation. Let's make sure that we are not allowing for these types of circumstances to repeat themselves.
Now, the administration wants people to know that it is making changes, but what's the political fallout from the report?
Well, Lisa, understandably, the Republicans are all over it. That's no surprise. They claim Healey wasted billions and showed little regard for state procurement laws. And tension between Healey and DiZoglio herself shows up in the audit when it pretty bluntly questions the administration's concern for taxpayer dollars. So the crisis may be dying down, but you'll be hearing about it for some time to come, especially with an election year around the corner.
No question. All right, John, thank you. David?
All right, Lisa, John.